Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be learning about how to make the thwomps for our game. First thing we want to do, as always, go up to the Open the Content Browser button, and we're going to go down into the Mario Assets package, and where did I stick him in the mesh? And there's Thwomp. Now we're going to bring out the static mesh just like we did the doors and the elevators. We're going to bring him out as an interp actor, so right click, add interp actor, Mario Assets.mesh.thwomp. Pull him up off the ground a little bit. We'll get him pretty high floating around in space. We want to hit F4 on our keyboard. That'll open up the interp actor properties. Inside this, as usual with an interp actor, it comes in with absolutely no collision. So we want to open up the collision tab, collision type. This time, instead of doing block all, we're going to go to touch all. He doesn't actually have to collide into you to kill you. He just has to touch you, which means that your bounds of your character are going to be intersecting the bounds of the geometry on this character. This will also let us use him in Kismet as a type of trigger. So collide touch all. We are going to do a collide complex. Right now on him, we want to make sure that we get very accurate collision. You don't want to be somewhere out here on the side and he lands next to you and the collision just goes, it's close enough, we'll kill Mario. You want to make sure that you're actually hitting him. That way it's not an unfair death. So collide complex. Okay, and inside of, let me see here, anything else? Movement, no. Doesn't really need to be encroaching on him. Okay. And yeah, I don't believe he needs to be encroaching at all. Nah. Okay. Just making sure we have everything, yeah. Everything right. So we're going to go through the close content browser out. Then we're going to create some Kismet for him. Open up the Kismet browser. And it comes in minimized on my screen here. There are our keys from one of the previous lessons. Let's move her out here. With Thwomp selected, we're going to right click to New Matinee. We're going to set that to looping. And that's it. He doesn't need to rewind. We're actually going to do the animation where he goes down and then back up. So he's going to complete the circuit himself. So Matinee, we'll double click that to bring up our Matinee. Just like we did for the keys, we're going to right click in the area. We're going to add a new empty group. We're going to call that Thwomp Move. Right click the Thwomp Move group, add a new movement track. He's already keyframed there. So let's see here. He should go down pretty quick. So let's move him over about 0.6 seconds, somewhere around there. We're going to move Thwomp down so he's intersecting. Looks like he just went bam right on the gravel there. Give him a key. Let's move this over and test that out. Not liking how slow and floaty that looks. Let's grab that keyframe actually, hold control, and we can move that over. Let's go down to about 0.24 seconds. Stop that and we'll play. Bam. All right. So we can actually come in here to, there we go, just a little bit after his first keyframe. I'm going to move him up a little bit. Keyframe him there. Then when he's on the, after he's hit the ground, we're going to move him over. We're actually going to go back over here to the level. Oops, make sure our movement track selected. come up to the top, go into rotation mode. We'll grind him there. We'll add that key. Go a little bit further. Grind him there. So down, and he does a little grind. Bring him back to center. And then at about 150, we'll move him all the way back up to where he started. Let's take a look and see how that looks. So down, grind, up. Good. So now we've only used about a second, 1.5 seconds on here. Let's see here. We can give him another little shake at the top here. So let's switch ourselves to rotate. This time we're going to rotate forward by about 5, keyframe, back by about, -5, which means a total of -11. There we go. And back here, we'll rotate him back around. So he's straight. All right, test that out, see how that looks. So he goes down, grinds Mario into dust, comes out, and then shakes himself off. And we'll get to our last keyframe here. We'll just zoom out in our matinee, grab that red arrow for the final line, and just bring it all the way in. And that'll be our final second there. So with the movement as well, we also want to do a fire off of a sound. So underneath that, we're going to right click, and we're going to come in here and do a new director group. Oops, sorry, nope, hold on, delete that group. Sorry about that, empty group. We'll call that sound. Inside the sound, we need to right click, and we're going to add a new event. And let's see here, where did we stick that? New event track, sorry, second from the top. This event track will go ahead and fire once the animation gets to a specified point. So what we want to do is we're firing off the sound. So we want to get right when he hits the ground. Come down here. We're going to scroll in a little bit so we have a little finer control. Right about there, we want to do a keyframe. New event will be Thwomp Land Sound at about 0.22 seconds. We can close out of the Unreal Matinee. We notice that we have our interp actor here, and we have our sound firing. This sound firing, it needs to go into a, let's see here, a new action, and we're going to do a sound, play sound. There we go. Oops, sorry about that, guys. There we go. So let's come in here. All right, so not the sound. Thwomp Land Sound is an output, goes into play sound. We do need to have a target. Best thing to do is come up to this Thwomp, and let's go ahead and select him. Then we're going to right click over that Thwomp. Oops, make sure he's selected. And we're going to add actor, add a path node. We'll just put that path node kind of down in the ground there. Not really going to be a path node, but we'll just place him there. So in our Kismet, we're going to right click, new object variable using path node 0, and we're just going to set the target for the sound to be coming from there. The play sound node, we want to select the sound we're going to play. If we open up our content browser inside of Mario Sounds, there's going to be a thwomp sound. And where is he? There we go. Mario Thwomp Q. So go ahead and select that. We're going to use the green arrow next to the play sound to add that in. Good, good. And because the matinee, because he is playing all the time, we're going to go ahead and start him from playing from a random point after the level starts. So the first thing we want to do is right click in our Kismet and say new event, level loaded. Bring that out to the side. In between the level loaded and the matinee, we want to go ahead and add a new action, and I believe it's miscellaneous delay. Yep. So level loaded invisible, let's go to start, level reset, hook that up to start as well. The finished goes into the play of the matinee, which just loops all the time. So the duration, we need to have, we can set it to 1 second, but that means that all your instances of your thwomps will be exactly the same. We don't want that. We want it to be a random duration. So let's go ahead and right click, new variable, and we'll give it a float, random float. And just move that up under the duration, hook that up. In our random float, we have a sequence variable random float. That's going to give us the minimum time that it can start from and our maximum time. Now we want to have a little bit of a delay. We don't want it to start immediately firing on level start. The thwomps will have to wake up. There's always some spawn location or your start level sequence that you have going. So let's start him out and say after about half a second, he can start, 0.5. He can start his thwompiness, and we can have some that wait all the way up to 3 seconds. They're a little lazy. They don't want to be exercising so much. And all right, so we can see in the Kismet that changed our variable from 0.1 to a 0.50, 0.3.00. All right, so if we back out here a little bit, let's go ahead and start playing from here. Just test out our Kismet. There he goes. And he's just slamming down, shaking, and the sound is starting when he hits that point. Now, this is all very well and good, but we can see if I come over here, I can just pass right through him. He's not really doing anything to me. That's what we're going to take care of next. There we go. So in our Kismet, I usually like to do it above the level loaded. We can make this all into a sequence. We're going to be making a prefab out of this thwomp. So just select our thwomp. We're going to right click in Kismet and say new event using interp actor 14 touch. There we go. Now the instigator, of course, we want to right click and say new variable player. Uncheck all players. We've done this repeatedly through the course. Hook it up to instigator so only the player will get crushed, none of the Goombas or Koopas, or if you've in the creature class created your own creature, what have you. We'll go ahead and do a new action. Mario game, lose life. Now this will also affect the player. And lose life, the only thing it can do is come into touched. Alright, so let's play that out. There we go. He stomped me into the ground. Continues to stomp and stomp. Last thing we've got to do, just like the keys, we want to have not just one thwomp, and you don't want to have to go through all of this all over again for 50, 100, whatever line of thwomps that you want. So we're going to make a prefab. Let's go in, grab the thwomp, control, grab that path node. It's very important because that path node is actually where the sound is going to come from. So if you duplicate all of these thwomps, you don't want them all using the same path node. Like one way over by that mountain slams and the sound for the thwomp comes from here. So we're just going to select all that, head into our Kismet. Now this is all self-contained. Once Mario dies, there's actually some code that is hard-coded in there that'll stop the level sound, it'll let you respawn. None of this script ever needs to contact the outside world. So we can do a self-contained, hold Control and Alt, draw a big old box around everything, select it all, right-click, and we can do a new sequence. And we will call this thwomp underscore script. Press OK. There's thwomp script. Out here in the level, just like we did for the keys, right-click. We're going to create prefab. And let's go down here and find that. Where did I put the keys? I put those under Josh key tutorial. But let's go ahead here. I'm going to rename that package to just Josh thwomp package. You guys just want to add the prefab to your pre-created prefab folder. And tab grouping will be prefabs. And the name will be Mario underscore thwomp underscore prefab. That's just so we know it's different than the static mesh that doesn't have scripts on it. Press OK. Found the Unreal Kismet. Go, yep, that's fine. Yep, I'd like to go ahead and replace that with a prefab. You get a shiny new prefab there. Now, all these prefab scripts are going to be found in our same place that our keys were. And that's okay. It can just float around in there. That's just a sequence. Since they're self-contained, they don't actually ever need to leave that. So let's go ahead, minimize this, let's go into our, not our key prefab, but we'll go ahead and save that anyway. Let's see here, new packages, Josh Thwomp, save. And then in Josh Thwomp, select that prefab, let's add one there, pull him up. We can even grab this guy and just hold Alt, and we can pull that off to the side, release Alt, hold Alt again, pull that off to the side, release Alt, pull Alt again. Don't want those too close together. All right, so we'll play from here, and what should happen is these guys should all start randomly. There we go, one, there we go. This is one of our new ones. He kills me. We can respawn. We respawn kind of far away, but you can see them off in the distance. They're all jumping up and down. So that is how you make your Thwomp prefabs.